INSTJKLMNP what's INSTJ?
CJ가 뭐야?
I don't know this, I don't remember this. My
Hypocrite, you hypocrite.
The brick builder, I don't care what it is, but looking at me like a cyclops.
It's okay, 오빠. It's okay. I don't know how to edit this. There's so much.
With all your skills.
Okay, how is life in Korea compared to life depicted in K-dramas? Is everyone handsome, pretty? Do rich guys marry poor girls? It's
Like
not like
everywhere
K-dramas.
else in the
yeah.
world. Just like everywhere in the world. Like,
Except for certain places like Gangnam and Apgujeong,
Yeah.
Cheongdam-dong, it's kind of different there.
And to answer that question as well, like, do rich guys marry poor girls? We can't answer that because, some rich guys might end up marrying poorer people, and wealth is all relative, right? Like, I thought about this question just now. If you're a billionaire and if I'm a millionaire, you'll think I'm extremely poor.
No, but we're talking about K-dramas. In K-dramas, there's like a rich guy and they fall in love with a poor girl and they get married and stuff. So we're talking about how realistic that is.
It could happen.
It could
definitely happen.
But like the reality of it would be not that easy. They would usually have like those 소개팅s and prepared meetings by acquaintances or family, having looked at the background of the other person and studying their specs and everything. So that's kind of important in Korea. I have a feeling like it's not as
common.
Yeah, and I think that's why K-dramas kind of portray that because it is kind of like a fantasy that a lot of people would like.
I guess. I think it's normal for Korean parents to kind of measure the other, parents' wealth and background and whatnot.
A lot of arranged things.
Yeah, and also like you got to understand this Korean background a little bit. Marriage is not really a union between a man and a woman like in Western culture, but it's more like a family union. Family coming together with another family.
Yeah.
There's a disequilibrium, all these different crazy things. But it could happen.
It could happen though.
Yeah.
And even in K-dramas, it's like a tragedy. Or
The girl usually dies or something, or the guy dies.
like
Somebody dies,
or gets
and then
a
they lose
disease,
memory.
or they don't do that anymore though.
Oh, okay.
Susie was like the last drama that kind of did that, right?
Okay. I think
it hasn't really been happening that much. Has it? Are we out of it, guys? Let us know.
We haven't been
if there's
watching.
How do you keep your relationship and marriage strong?
Forgiving and loving and listening,
Yeah.
and I think it's about making the right choices, making right decisions for each other. Also giving up our own priorities to serve one another. I think that's really, really important.
I think it's definitely like a teamwork where you have to keep things like fresh between each other and make sure that you're still friends and you still like each other aside from just being husband-wife. And learning to forgive each other because you're not perfect and you'll see each other's most ugly side all the time as well. So it's just family, and family never gives up on each other. So
exactly.
We don't have a perfect relationship either.
No.
But
you can't define what's perfect because everybody's going to be different. But if I can say one thing, for us, I think worship is something that, worshiping our Lord Jesus. I think that's such a pivotal key. I think whenever we do that, we can actually feel we're one. So I think for us, that's what's actually making us really, really strong, this relationship.
We met on the worship team and through musical worship in church. So without that in our life, we're not ourselves. So it's really important to us.
And things like last year happens.
We were not musically worshiping together for 1 or 2 years up till that point. But until then, it's been all our life. I'm not sure if you guys know because you guys only see me doing beauty stuff on channel, but actually we usually have a lot of commitments outside of work in a worship team or William Bleeding or at church, and that's a couple of times a week usually. So that kind of really keeps us focused on something above us and focused on God's kingdom. And then when we worship, we're surrendering before God, and so it keeps us humble as well. So I think without having that, we kind of were going cuckoo, literally we were losing it and losing the bond through which we really come alive and feel like we're living. We've said it in the past as well though. We have a whole how we met in our marriage story. And for anyone who's new, we're actually Christians, so we don't want to sound preachy or anything, but you guys asked us how we keep it strong. So for us, it's really important having God in our life, and it doesn't make sense without Him. And
full stop, period.
And so because of that, that's something we actually do recommend to you guys. If you don't believe in Jesus, we recommend you guys to place your faith in Jesus Christ, because God really loves you, He knows you, and if you guys are going through something tough, He will bring you guys together. And there's like nothing is impossible for God. So if there's anyone out there who's having a really difficult time in their relationship, and sometimes counseling doesn't even help, because even a counselor is very limited in their point of view and their understanding and knowledge of who you are, like from baby to now. But only one person, one being knows everything, and that's God, who made you and created you and put you together. So if you come to Him and ask Him for help, He will help you beyond anything that you have imagined, and He wants your marriage to be strong. So yeah, that's one thing that we would like to really recommend to you guys. Suting Tan asks,
are you planning to have a baby soon? Over to you, Jen.
You guys know our story. We've always been like, maybe next year, and then it's become 10 years, honestly. Because I got married young, so honestly, when we first got married, it was way too early to even think about it.
Wasn't on our priority list.
No, not at all. I just doing uni and stuff. And then we moved to Korea.
And and we were just rolling in. Well, we always say, should we? Okay, let's think about it next year. Next year just comes really quickly, quicker than ever. And it's already that next year. So should we have a baby now? And we look ourselves and our situation and go, oh, why don't we have a baby next year? And then another next year comes really quickly. And that's not what's been happening.
So maybe next year?
Yeah. Maybe next year. Let's start planning next year.
Vanessa Irina says, what is one thing you guys learn about relationship that no one's ever told you before? One thing that no one's ever told.
I have one. Nobody told me that having a relationship and marrying somebody is like running a marathon. It's something that you have to maintain, sustain, and you have to endure, and you have to put efforts in. You have to train yourself, and you have to run the race and never give up.
That's so true. Like the happily ever after thing, I think that's the biggest.
Yeah.
We all grew up with those stories like happily ever after. I'm pretty sure kids these days don't read those things, but that's what we grew up on.
Nobody told us that.
You're not just happy forever ever after, like you just get married. No, it's a lifelong
journey together.
Yes.
But it's definitely worth it. Jenny Sandanika.
Janisa and Danica asks, Janisa and Danica, what Bible verses do you both live by?
Yeah, I know what she's gonna say.
Yeah.
She tells me all the time, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments.
What?
That's what Jesus said.
No.
It's not that?
When do I say commandments though? Guys, try it. That actually works. If they don't want to do it, you just say, if you love me, you'll do it. I haven't said that for a while. Opa.
No. I wasn't referring to what you say. But this is what Jesus said. If you love me, you'll keep my commandments. I don't know what she's talking about, to be honest. I think she's lost it.
You're talking about what I said to you.
If you love me. No, that's not what it is, okay? I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about where Jesus said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments.
Yes. That's seriously something that we are living by lately. For me, this is my favorite Bible verse since I became a Christian.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember?
There are so many, so I can't remember.
Give thanks always.
Oh.
Always be joyful, never stop praying. Be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus. That's 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18. That's always been my favorite verse of all time.
Lately, for me, I've been meditating on the Ten Commandments in the book of Exodus. I think it's chapter 24. Correct me if I'm wrong. There, God talks about His Ten Commandments, and that's been speaking to my heart directly lately.
Yeah, lately, because we realized how much Jesus talks about, if you love me, you'll obey me, you'll keep my commandments. And those who truly love me, keep my law and my commandments. That's been speaking to us a lot lately. And I think a lot of Christians are sort of coming back to that as well, that God did not actually do away with it, but He speaks about it to even until Revelation. So That's something that we've been living by lately. And we'll do one more question.
One more question.
Even though there is no baby news yet, have you and Grumpy Oppa ever come up with any possible baby names?
Yeah.
Nope.
No. Methuselah?
Whenever we have this conversation, William comes up with the weirdest.
Let's read the question.
All right, final question is actually in regards to a heart-to-heart that I did last year when I was going through a really low point when I was living in Korea. So Katie Nuggets asks this. I'll leave it for you guys to read because it's super long. All right, so to catch you guys up, ever since I joined this church and I've met a lot of wonderful people, I don't feel as lonely, and I definitely am in a much better place than I was last year. And I also think that last year when that happened, I was feeling especially lonely because William and I were kind of going through that rift.
Yeah.
So my one person that I really relied on as my confidant and knowing everything about me, and my person who would never betray me
Everything
and stuff,
crumbled down.
it was starting to really crumble down. So I particularly felt really lonely. It was a really tough time, and I'm not going to say everyone's going to go through that if you move to Korea. But for me, it was a huge change because we were used to a really social life in Australia. Born and raised in Sydney, so of course I had a lot of friends, high school friends, uni friends, church friends, outside friends. And then suddenly in Korea, the whole system is different, and so it was really tough to find people who I would really get close with. And I realized that friendships take time. And I think I was expecting that it would just automatically, thought if I meet someone who's as open as I am for a friendship, then it would just click and would get off right away. But it took a couple of years to transition and get to know what Korean people are like, what they think and their values and everything, and how friendships work. So it was a time of transition, and it definitely is not as bad as before. I've made a lot of wonderful friends since then, but at the same time I have had to accept that it's not ever going to be the same as my life back in Sydney, where everyone really knew me and knew both of us from history. You know how it feels different when you meet someone later on in your life compared to them knowing you since you're a child. So having to prove yourself again and show that you're someone who can be trusted and everything takes time, and you can't just force it. How did Grumpy Oppa help you during this period? I think being there for me.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't actively trying to help Jen or anything. Obviously, having full-time work, I'll have to leave home for most of the time during the day. And when I come back, I try to do things together with Jen, but sometimes I'm too tired to do things. And also last year I was also feeling lonely, not having the community of my own. Work is work. Work is different. I mean, you can't really be friends with everybody. You're there for business. So I think subconsciously I was feeling lonely as well, and I was relying, and I was also depending upon Jen and this relationship a lot. And because we were kind of not in good terms last year, I was also feeling very lonely and difficult. But finding the right community this year really helped us, and also realizing how we could gel together by knowing a bit deeper, about each other, and understanding each other, what kind of personalities we have. And having that deep understanding really helped me to find my own place in this relationship and come out of that difficult times. This camera thing, it's getting to me. It's like you always tell me, imagine that there's a person. So that's what I'm imagining. I've been imagining all that, But then this camera looks like a cyclops, and then I'm just looking at it. I'm trying to be like myself, but then I can't because it's actually looking at it and looking at me like a cyclops.
It's okay, Oppa. It's okay.
It's getting to me, this YouTube thing.
He's had enough of talking to a camera, I think, for today. But yeah, Oppa was always there for me. Not always, but he is, always beside me physically. So that in itself is a wonderful thing.
Is that it? How can I be just physically there? I was spiritually, emotionally, and physically there for you. It's just that sometimes my mind was somewhere else because I was building guitar pedal board or something like that.
William was there for me emotionally sometimes as well. But there's some things that I think a really ISTJ manly guy cannot really understand about an INFP. So there were a lot of things I had to battle on my own. And
same for me. I think INSTJKLMNP. What's you? INSTJ? What are you?
INSTJ가 뭐야?
I don't know this Maya
You don't know what I am still?
Yeah, I don't know this. I don't remember this Maya
Hypocrite.
brick.
You hypocrite.
The brick builder. I don't care what it is, but so like she wouldn't understand me.
No.
And sometimes, you know, I try to like process what she asked, but then I'm too slow for her. But I need my own space and time and a bit of a gap between the question and me answering, because so that I can process everything. But then sometimes that kind of time and that kind of like luxury is not allowed. So sometimes I feel, you know, misunderstood.
This has become a couples counseling. Thanks for hearing us out, guys. Give us some advice. What do you think we need to do?
No, we're really good, to be honest.
I don't know how to edit this. There's so much.
With all your skills.
Okay guys, it's been a very long heart to heart and I'm really looking forward to editing this. But hopefully you guys got to know us a little bit more and we got to finally catch you guys up on how we've been. I'm actually promising to start doing regular uploads again on my channel twice a week. So let me know if you guys would like me to do Tuesday, Fridays or Wednesday, Saturdays down in the comment section below so that I can really stay in touch with you guys a lot more often than I've been doing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video with me and my husband, Grumpy Oppa. If you want to follow his redundant Instagram in which he uploads maybe one post a year, you can feel free to do so right here.
If I hit 8,000 subscribers in my Instagram, I might do regular updates. But
what's regular? Like once a month?
Once a day. Oh
my gosh, that's a lot.
Yeah, I can do it. I can put that off.
That might be spanning though.
Okay.
He has a really beautiful brown filter that he uses all the time. So you can look forward to seeing that if you want to. You can also follow me on Instagram over here. I'm at 99. Please, let's get to 100k. We've been stuck at this 99 for like 3 months. Just that number just annoys me. 99.
99.
I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. If you enjoyed this video, of course, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and hit that notification bell button to get notifications for my videos. And we'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! 다음에 또 봐요.